It's time we answer a question that we've been getting a lot of lately. And if what we're seeing out there is true, we might have a serious problem sitting right under our RV.
And honestly, we've been going back and forth with this for a while. Do we keep using our batteries or do we rip them out and start all over?
So here's what's going on. Another YouTuber, Will Prowse, has been doing some testing on some battle-borne batteries. And what he's found has been really unsettling. We're talking melting, parts being loose, overheating, arcing, all inside and outside. So these tests that he's doing have been really eye-opening to us. And he's telling people that these are completely unsafe batteries and that we all need to remove them from our RVs.
So naturally, that got our attention, especially when we started getting texts and emails and comments asking us what we're going to be doing. Because right now we have 600 amp hours of battle-borne lithium in our RV. We got it installed in 2019, and honestly, we've been using it just fine ever since. We haven't had any issues, no overheating, no problems, nothing. And we've really loved going off-grid with our lithium.
So now we're sitting here thinking, have we just been lucky, or are we sitting on something that is a huge problem that we need to deal with? Because the last thing we want to do is ignore something like this and then have something go wrong because we didn't do our part to check our system. And we don't want to just rip out a perfectly good battery setup without knowing the truth. So instead of guessing, we decided to test them for ourselves, looking for any excessive heat, abnormalities, any scarring, any melting, anything that looked off with the battery itself. We are going to test our battle-borne batteries to make sure that we've got some decent batteries. So I've got Wes here, who is going to help me get through this procedure. So first thing we're going to do is trip the power here at the pedestal. In fact, there. Now it's tripped and unplugged. And then we're going to put the batteries, the house batteries, under a good load today and test them and see how the batteries react. The batteries are 100% and we are inverting right now, so we're going to fire up the ACs, the microwave, Stacy's hair accoutrements. I'm a bonehead and forgot that my ACs are not connected to the inverter, so we're running the microwave and a couple of Stacy's curling iron, flat iron, just to keep the draw up. All right, so now let me see. Ooh, they're dirty. Wes is looking at them through a thermal reader, just to see if there's any hot spots.
Looks like it may be, that's the main cable going to the inverter, so it's going to be the warmest. You can kind of see how hot that main cable's getting.
Yeah.
We're running 200 amps through it, so at 120, it's in the safe range though.
You can see the heat on the cables themselves, and then we have two of the batteries up front, mainly one in the center. It's just ice cold. Well, it feels ice cold, but there's no heat. You can't feel the heat on it when you touch it. The other ones you can. So that one we're going to pull off and test by itself, see what's going on.
We have a travel tip for anyone heading outside the US this year like we are on our Today is Someday group trip to Ireland and Scotland. Staying connected is even more important when you're traveling overseas. You're going to need Wi-Fi for everything from finding your way back to your hotel, translating menus, checking the bus schedule, and of course, sharing your favorite pics with friends back home. So skip the sketchy airport and hotel Wi-Fi for something more reliable and safer. Saily eSIM. Saily is an app that gives you mobile data in over 200 countries around the world. And if you're visiting multiple countries like us, you can choose a regional plan instead of just a single country. It's so easy to use. Download the Saily app, purchase your eSIM, and set it up before you even leave home. Then just hit activate when you get there, and you'll have safe data in your pocket. It's so easy and inexpensive, it's crazy not to use it. If you want to check it out for yourself, scan the QR code here or click the link down in the description box below, and be sure and use our code someday to save 15%.
Inverter and chargers off.
So all we got to worry about the battery parking now.
Yeah.
Now, Phil?
Yes, sir.
If I arc this off and I cuss on your video.
Stacy's a great editor because I do every video.
I just wanted to give you a heads up. That might could happen. I mean, it's it is a hot battery. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 12 volt.
And I'm a sailor, so
only 12 volt.
like I said, these have been, we put them in 19 and.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna slide it out of here. I was just gonna get these to where hopefully they don't hit anything important and we don't lose any nuts or washers.
Very badly designed.
It is. I don't care. And that's the thing, like when I started all this, Battleborn was like the dog. That's what everybody wanted. And
right, me too. Right, they're the best.
Yeah.
You pay a huge premium
When they first came out,
but you can. They've got a 10-year warranty. You can anybody who'll warranty their products obviously has got to be making good product. But it turns out they're making friggin' like badly designed,
and
badly engineered.
I don't know when it started to go awry. Was it when Will did his first review of one? Is that when Battleborn started to catch the eye of people in the negative?
Well, no. So supposedly, Will's just responding to, like, people have had these complaints for a long time.
So that's what.
But it's just like just a couple of people, because most people aren't going to run into these. But Will, I feel like, is the first person to get in there and take these things apart.
Yeah. So that dial is increasing the load on it?
yeah. So I'm about 75 amps right now.
Where are we at? There we are. Okay. And it's at
12 volt. So we're just checking the temperature of it right now. Yeah, I mean, who's going to disassemble an $800 battery?
and
I love
and
Will.
I've
Will.
and I've seen the comments lately, and the guys that have had them for years, like me, they're all saying, "I have no problem."
Right, because you don't run them at max discharge.
Yeah.
Like, and no system should. But there are applications where you are going to want that, and it's a safety thing. Like, you shouldn't design your system in such a way that it melts when it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Like, that's just bad design.
And if we have to, like, if we're boondocking, and we're using our batteries, and we use everything like we would normally if we were plugged in.
Yeah.
We use everything.
Yeah.
Except the ACs. My ACs aren't connected. They're not.
Here's the thing: you're never going to drop down though, because you have, how big's your inverter? 3,000.
3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 watts.
Yeah.
So running full bore, like 3,000 divided by 12, the most will be pulling from in, because they all equalizes out over the whole array. The most it'll pull from any one battery is 30 to 40 amps, which is way under the
100 amp each.
The rating, the max rating,
Yeah.
and the point at which people have been noticing problems.
So now this is charging?
Yeah, I'm putting a pretty significant charge on it. I'm gonna check so this is a 50 amp, and then I added an extra 5 amps just to see if we can get it hot.
50 shouldn't, but
Shouldn't, but you remember that's when Will was charging it. He was getting like at 35, 40 amps charge, it was getting hot.
So when will you know it's topped off?
This will shut off. This one right here will drop all the way down to 0 because it's just a trickle charger.
Okay. So did it cycle?
Yeah, the big one cut off.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we've got that terminal 125 degrees.
Pretty standard.
And that's what they were under load in the
120 degree. That's not bad.
That's reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're fine. All right, that should have tripped the BMS. That should be 100 amps.
So that audible alarm was for?
That's just this thing squealing.
Oh, okay.
That's just the. $100 amp on these?
Yeah, 100 amp charge discharge. That's what it's rated to.
It should be cutting out.
100 amp.
That's 200 amp.
Yeah.
That should cut out.
So it should just drop automatically.
Yeah. Look how hot it's getting. It
that
cut
goes.
out. There it
Okay.
goes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that the charger or?
That's this.
Okay. So this.
It's warm, but I mean it's not.
What did it temp out there when you? Did you notice?
It's at 120, which is totally safe. That's safe limits. I don't see anything glaring right now. My only concern is like what he keeps talking about. is it possible that they could go bad at some point and melt? That's
Again,
my scare.
I don't think so.
I don't
don't
either,
think
because
so.
you're not drawing a huge
I
load.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I think
But-
that the main concern is you're in a system, or you're in a situation where your system fails and gets real hot and melts something, and then it's much easier to get that
Yeah.
thermal runaway. Because once it starts, then it gets loose and it gets hot a lot easier and faster.
That's my dilemma. It's, you know, I've always been of the mind, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your system's fine.
But-
you don't need to replace it.
But it's in the back of my head, because now I'm in tune to what's going on with these things.
It's fine. You will never give enough load on these things. So long as all 6 are working for you, you do not need to change. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
you do.
And that's how I'm leaning. But
Yeah.
all right, so we took the battery out of the rig and tested it separately, and Wes ran it up to 200 amps. First, he volt tested it. It tested at 13. Then we hooked it up. He ran it up slowly to 200 amp hours, and it tripped like it's supposed to. The temps on it were about 120-ish, and then it reset on its own, and he used the voltmeter again, and it was at 13. So I think it did what it was supposed to do. Now we're just, the main question I have is, why was it cold when we had it under load? All right, so we finished testing the first battery, and it all tests fine. Everything's good on it. So now we're testing the second battery exactly the way we did the first battery, and it just now cut off when it got up to 200 amps. So the BMS worked like it should. So now we're looking at the temps and just seeing how she resets. So what we looked for was heat, abnormal behaviors, anything that just didn't look right with the batteries, because we wanted to know whether our system was performing like it should before we end up with a bigger problem. So after all the testing we did, our batteries tested perfectly. They were doing exactly what they should be doing, and we found nothing abnormal with them.
So for us, what we've decided to do is to keep our Battleborn batteries and continue to use them. That way we can get the full value of what we paid for them. And let's be perfectly clear, this video is not sponsored by Battleborn batteries. They don't know we're making this video. This is just us trying to figure out if our batteries are safe for us and if we want to keep them.
So here's the thing. We can't tell you what to do with your setup. Every RV is different, every install is different, every situation is different. All we can do is tell you what we found and what our decision is going forward.
So now we're really curious. Do you have Battleborn batteries? Are you concerned? Have you tested your batteries? What are you planning to do moving forward?